everybody, and welcome to If These Walls Could Talk. I am Wendy Stuart, and usually Tym Moss is here with me, but he is out and about today, and I am by myself. So please tune in and show me some of your love. I hope everyone's doing well. You know, we're in my favorite time of year. It's the Halloween season, and I'm broadcasting from Pangea, where we have an amazing Halloween get together. It'll be Friday on the actual Halloween. How cool is that? And I just love it. What I love about Halloween is, I don't know, it's a sense of community, right? I love the creativity involved. I've noticed costuming and makeup has gotten more and more involved every year. And quite frankly, I'm like a little worried because normally I like start planning 6 weeks ahead of time. I have not done anything this year at all. So my first big Halloween event, of course, will be this Friday night at the Triad Theater. I'll be helping with the costume judging contest in Dorothy Bishop's show, The Dozen Divas. And if you're going to that, please, you're welcome to come in costume. You are welcome to bring your dog in costume too. How about that? So this past weekend was really so amazing. I got to interview, you all remember that amazing film, The Princess Bride. I got to interview Chris Sarandon, who was in the film, and it was a long time ago, but he was there at the Black Bear Film Festival as our special guest. What could be better? And just to be in his company X amount of years later was so much fun. And of course, we screened the film, which was a wonderful film in its day. We also had the daughter-in-law of Julie Campbell, if that name rings a bell, or if it doesn't, I'm going to refresh your memory. Sports Illustrated. You all remember those Sports Illustrated issues. Well, Jill decided to make a tribute to her mother-in-law, an amazing documentary. And I am hoping to have her on the show. I reached out to her today. I remember Sports Illustrated, and so do a lot of people who are watching the show. It was just really incredible. And a lot of the models like Tyra Banks, Naomi Campbell, they got their start in the Sports Illustrated issues, you know, wearing those scanty bikinis on the week, which as we get into the colder weather, I can't even wrap my head around. So I'm excited about Halloween. And because of that, I wanted to have this guest on today who she has been on before, but it's been a couple of years, but she's so perfect for this time of year. First of all, she's an amazing writer. She writes about supernatural romances. You know, I can make a joke about that. Aren't all romances supernatural? Don't they feel that way sometimes? But her characters and their relationships, it really is all about the supernatural. But what is so cool about the books that she writes, you're reading this stuff and the relationships are so real that you think like some of the crazy paranormal stuff, well, maybe it could happen. And I think I speak for a lot of people that are interested in the paranormal and, of course, love this time of year. I think when you think that ghosts can come to life, when you think things can come out of a lake, when you think walking through a forest, you hear something, but you don't know what it is, I think I speak for everybody when I say it gives you chills up and down your spine. So without further ado, I would like to welcome our wonderful writer today, Wendy M. Please welcome.
It's Coke, like the soda.
Oh, it is. Okay.
Yes.
Thank you.
Yes.
You know what? And I knew I forgot something. I meant to ask, I always ask people to pronounce their name for me because but tell me I'm not the first one that butchered it, Wendy, please.
No.
Okay.
I married into the name. It's just something I have to deal with. And plus we had some paranormal thing happen in the beginning that kind of threw us off, I think, too.
No, but we're fine. And I want to share this with our audience, Wendy. So besides sharing the same name and besides looking fairly similar when we both have our glasses on,
I look more like Harry Carey, I think. That's what my husband said. You're like, you look like whatever.
But in the very beginning of this show, Wendy was all set up. She is also a professional podcaster, and we are going to talk about her podcaster, A Juicy Pear. But for whatever reason, her audio wasn't working, no matter
Yeah.
how hard we tried. And she's done this a gazillion times before. So, when that happens, we're easy here. I'm like, just switch to your phone.
Yeah. I mean, just be flexible. Yeah. Hey, it's
I have
working.
to be
It's
flexible,
working.
but I have
You
to
know,
tell you,
I don't know if my wrist is going to handle for the next hour, but hey, we're making it work. I got my cell phone. We're doing it. We're
you're
doing it.
good. We're rocking. You got to admit, it's very strange that the audio didn't work, because
I
there was
know.
no reason for it.
I know. No, because yeah.
There
But
was no reason for the audio not working. But sometimes when I start conjuring up things and I'm with someone else that conjures things up,
it's too much. It's too much for
too
the
much.
spiritual world to handle. It can't handle it. So
Thank
it's
you.
yeah.
I totally love it. You know that. And the space that I broadcast from, you know what? This didn't even occur to me. We have a ton of spirits here. Pangea has got a history, and a lot of my friends who are on the other side, including my husband.
I saw that. I'm so sorry.
Thank you.
I'm
But
so sorry.
I never stopped feeling them. And
No.
certainly this space, I walk in here and it's like old home week with the spirits that are here. So now I'm thinking, Wendy, maybe that could have been the snafu too.
It could have. The spiritual world is alive and well. There's things floating around, good and bad. You just never know. And I feel like, good friends and stuff, they're still with us. They find ways to try to, make connections with us, and not like they do it all the time. But I do feel like, I wonder if that was a sign. And if you kind of feel it in your gut and you just get that kind of warm feeling, yeah. Yeah.
All right. I'm going to give you one real quick before I want to talk about, of course, you and your book, but I've got to give this to you real quick because you'll help me with it. I have a second place in Pennsylvania, which is not all that different from that amazing resort that you grew up in that inspired your books. I walked out of my door in Pennsylvania Monday morning to drive back to the city, and I feed birds. I feed 22 species of birds. I hear a bird sound that's somewhat familiar, but I didn't know what it was. And I'm kind of walking towards my car and it gets louder. And it's like this. And I look up, I follow the sound up to a tree.
Yeah.
2 bald eagles sitting right near where my car is parked by my house. 2 of them, though. And I'm not near water. Yeah, we are near the Delaware, but not near enough. There's lots of eagles on the Delaware. Okay, what were they doing at my house?
That was a sign from your husband. Yeah.
That's what I took it as. Wow.
Yeah. There's 2 of them there. It was in eye shot. He knew that you would be able to. Yeah. I mean, did you feel that when you saw it, when you looked up?
I totally feel it, but I also had my Chihuahua Nugget with me, and I thought, I don't know, maybe we could have a good meal.
That might not be a good thing. I hope you held Nugget close to you. You did. Okay.
Okay. So now that we got that out of the way, Wendy M. Coke, The Choice. Okay, I got a little bit of shine on it. Of course, available on Amazon with all her other books.
I love that cover. Sorry, I don't mean it. I love that cover. I mean, just look at the cover.
No, it's great. Let's hold it up.
Oh my God,
it's got ring light shine on it. But
I know.
I love this cover, and I'll tell you why. Everything in your life has been so pivotal on how you were raised. Your summers at this resort, the forest. And this lake, okay? And in the cover, and it's hard to see here, but when you get the book on Amazon, or even go to Amazon, you can look at it, you'll see that there is a person in the water looking.
He changes the whole town, doesn't he? I don't know how far you got into the book.
Okay, excuse me, 2:00 in the morning. You are responsible for me not sleeping. I told when I have an author on, I do read their books. It's hard too.
I know. And I know you're busy too. And it's like, well, I don't know if she's going to have time to read my book.
Yeah, but I started this one 3 weeks ago. What I do, if it's like 250 pages or 200 pages, I break it up. I put a book calendar, so I read a certain amount of pages every night.
Yeah.
I know this is very compulsive, but
no, it's
I
good
had to read this story. The story is so compelling. So this is part of a trilogy of books, which they fall under the umbrella 1,000 Years of the Crooked Forest.
Yeah, I mean, So I put paranormal romance just because on my first book I won an award under that title, right? But it could be mystery, it could be
Could be
thriller,
anytime.
it could be a few different titles. And I wrote the choice so you wouldn't necessarily have to read the first two. I mean, I would love it if people do, but like if they could just pick it up and read it, and I think they would be able to pick up on what's going on fairly quickly. But if you want to know the history, it all started with a gray resort. I wasn't going to do a series. I was going to be done with that book, but I loved it. The process of writing is not easy, and it was a real work in progress. That one took 8 years to do. That was, yeah, and that came out in 2019.
And you were raising two sets of twins at the time, am I correct?
Yes.
Wow.
So that was sort of my
No wonder it took
escape.
8 years. I'm surprised you could even think.
Well, that's what I'm saying. It's like I wanted an outlet. I wanted something that was mine and that I really believed in. And I always wanted to write, even when I was a little girl on the resort, always. So I just kept it up. I thought it was a good story. I mean, I knew it was a good story, but I had it in notes and things, and it took 8 years to, get it properly organized and the way I wanted it to. And I didn't know anybody in the publishing industry. I didn't know I had one author friend, and she kind of guided me a little bit. And then she was the one too that said, "Hey, you have to continue on with this book. This can't stop." I'm like, "Continue on? I don't know. I don't know about series. I don't know about that. Who's going to pick up, book two?" She goes, "Just do it. Just
I love
do
that
it."
you said that she was your inspiration, the wind beneath your wings, and you were smart enough to move forward based
Yeah.
on what you said.
I'm
Sometimes
glad. I'm glad. I mean, I've had people say, "Oh, you're going to stop at 3?" Yes, the series is done. The
I was a
choice
little
is,
sad. I read that in another interview I think that you did, and it did make me a little sad because I'm like, wait a minute, why is it stopping at 3? Well, maybe she's going to bring out a whole new and different series after this. Like,
I'm not done writing. I'm not done writing at all. I've got a couple books in me. I've got
really,
another one actually I want to keep, but it's like, it's so like, the process of writing and getting it out there. And then once it's out there, the marketing and, I do all my own marketing and
Wendy, you
things.
actually won awards. And that was like very impressive when I had you on with the Gray Resort. What was that, like 3 years ago?
Yeah, I think
Yeah, the
so.
book
Yeah.
went
Yeah.
on
It's
to,
like all a blur. COVID made everything all,
yeah, right. I
I don't
know.
even know what year it is. Yeah, seriously.
I don't know what day it is half
I
the
don't
time.
know.
But that book went on to win awards, which I found was so impressive. Let's face it, and you said it before we were on air, there's so many people, everyone and their mother is writing a book nowadays, and they seem
Yeah.
like they crank them out. So we all know with Amazon, you can hire now an editor on. I remember when I was writing my book, they offer you everything.
I love your book too.
Thank
I
you.
remember. Yeah, I loved your book. I
But I
thought
used
it
an
was,
actual I had to use an editor that was in the industry because you
yes.
brought out something, all your notes and everything. My timeline was all fachotched, and I needed somebody to put all of those thoughts, and this, in order. There's so many thoughts when you're writing these notes. You've got piles and piles of them, and to
Yeah.
create the actual book, it has to make some sense. But what I noticed that you do, and I noticed it in this last book, and kudos to you, people do not have to read your first and second book in order to enjoy your third book, because you break it up. And I'm not going to give away the story, but you break it up in terms of your characters. And then it kind of gives the person reading, if you've got 6 characters, they can build on each character, right, as they go along.
I had to kill off so many characters. Oh my God. So an awakening, I've been told an awakening is like a spiritual book.
That's your second book.
That's my second one. It gets into more of the characters, why they're acting the way they do, what they're doing, their quirks. But I don't like doing it in a cheesy way, if that makes sense. I don't know. I really kind of dive into it. Some of my characters I've made up. There's a few I base on people that I know, and I just change a little bit things about them. But the choice was fun to write because there's a particular character in there, and I don't know if you remember, but it's the one where she's hearing voices in the heating vent. Dandelion Mary.
Oh, and as it would be, the spirits helped me just this second randomly open up to Dandelion Mary.
Oh my God. Okay.
Yeah, she heard the voices. Yeah, that was particularly like, wow. How did she like that? That's such a bizarre thought that voices would come out of the
right. Well, I kind of based it on this character. Okay, I call her Dandelion Mary.
Dandelion Mary.
It's out of desperation. It's out of not feeling like you're in the right place. Like maybe you made some wrong choices in life, and either from mental illness or whatever it is, she's hearing these voices. I'm not going to give it away, but she was one of my favorite characters in the book, and I thought, okay, this is going to be a good character. I'm going to do this, and I kind of just run with it. I go all out there and run with it. I'll just say this. So she's a housewife, and she runs away, but she first starts hearing these voices, and this thing is conjuring up, getting her to get on his side, basically. And he needs he needs people on his side.
He succeeded too.
Yeah. So
he got her.
Yeah. So it's kind of modeled maybe after some people I might know. I've changed a few things. Yeah, I kind of dive into
there's a lot of underlying stuff in that. So let's go to Dandelion Mary. I got the feeling that there was a frustration in her life, like maybe it was someone you knew. And maybe that person got so frustrated with their life they could hear voices, because those voices would be indicative of a different life for them, right?
Yeah.
That it would change their stage picture. Certainly in the book.
I love that. Change their stage picture. I love it. I love that. Yes.
The stage picture,
Yes. Yeah. Well, I feel but I feel like COVID, right? I think post-COVID, we're living in a different world. We really are.
Thank you. I talk about this all the time. Not enough people. We're not the same.
No, we're not the same. People are different. I feel like people that have had, I don't know, not everybody, but a few people who are prone to mental illness, that was just like the last thing. And it just and just brought that all up to the surface. I feel like, we're not as soft as we used to. People are, stern and, just not everybody, of course, but it's just a different world out there. It's just, it's a little bit colder, and it's sad. And
I like hearing you say this because, I live in New York City, where it's, everything you're saying would be ramped up a lot more. And yet I run into people here that it's like nothing changed in their life in COVID. Nobody died. They kept their 6-figure-a-year job, and they were allowed to do it from home. And, and they don't mention it. It's like it didn't happen. My whole life was completely upended. I started podcasting. I lost everything. I have met people that have lost everything. And New York during COVID, I have to tell, where you are has fresh air and grass and trees. New York, we were really like freaking confined to our, our apartments or whatever. I came down here and started doing this show because this restaurant was only open in front. There was nothing going on inside.
We have tons of restaurants. We have, everything was closed. Everything was locked up.
No, the restaurants in my neighborhood, a lot of them didn't recover.
It's so sad. There's some businesses that done. I mean, do you remember grocery stores, right? I go to the grocery store, there'd be tape on the floor telling you which direction to go in. I'm like, oh my God.
I realize now. And on the subway, there was tape on the subway platform telling you where to stand. Thank God all that's up. But I have to tell you, now looking back, I'm so happy we're having this conversation.
Yes.
I feel like I have a sister in
Yes.
You realize, honestly, how crazy that was, how little we knew about the whole thing, and that it was like these crazy knee-jerk reactions. I too was in stores with
Yeah.
arrows telling you which way to go. It was really nuts.
I know. And I remember thinking like, this is crazy. This is absolutely insane.
Right.
I'm getting yelled at because I'm walking in the wrong direction
You're
in a
going the wrong
grocery
direction, Wendy.
store.
Back up.
Are you kidding me? I'm
Right.
like, oh my God. It was
Right.
very oppressive. So oppressive. I
Because
never want to go back to that
you know what?
ever.
None of us do, but here's the thing. If you don't have a game plan, I've worked in Africa in areas where there's
Yep.
Ebola. As non-developed as some of those areas are, they have a game plan. They absolutely know what to do.
That's fantastic.
Right, it is. But the world, it wasn't just, the United States, the world freaked out.
It was all over. It was all over.
You went in the world, there were arrows telling you where to go. It was really nuts. And you're right, people never recovered from it. And nothing's being said about it.
It's like it didn't happen. Like, oh, what? It's like it was like,
why is it that it didn't happen? Why is there not a billboard? In New York, right? I should see billboards. Are you struggling after COVID? Here's a number to call. There are still, of course, suicide hotlines, but no one mentions COVID either. I just, I don't know. People were left very damaged because of it. And you're right.
That is such a good word. Yeah, they were very damaged. It's true. Are damaged. They're still, it's really sad. And I feel like, at our fingertips, we have so much information on our cell phone. We can get all this info.
We have technology, Wendy, all over the place. Why was this not handled correctly?
I know. And people feel, why are all these people feeling so alone? Well, I don't, because we have all this info and it's weird, right? I don't know.
You're bringing that up too. Again, in New York, I'm never alone. It's amazing here. But honestly, in Pennsylvania, the change where I am has been huge. It just used to flow. People would invite each other over. Now it's become these tight little pockets, almost like what we had during COVID. What do they call them? Pods or whatever?
Yeah, whatever.
Now it's become these tight little pockets of people. And I'm a person, I go everywhere with anyone. I invite people to things.
Yes. You're a gatherer. You get people together, have fun. Yes.
I know, but you know what? It's not like that out in PA, and everything that you just said, I have seen it out there. And I imagine where you are, you're experiencing somewhat too. And
I mean, we're back to having fun and stuff, but people are more reserved. They're a little bit more chilly, I have to say.
I totally agree. I totally agree with you.
I don't know if it's the AI thing too, which, because now, God, I don't know. I'm scrolling around and I'm like, okay, that's obviously AI. But, then you get the comments, oh, how did that? And it's sad. It's sad. We're kind of getting into the, where the fiction is really meshing in with reality. And,
that's totally what happened. I mean, normally I save comments to the end, but my friend Dan, I'm so happy he tuned in today because he's a very busy makeup artist, but he was off today.
Oh,
here's what he said. You guys, speaking of COVID, it was referred to as the Great Reset. In more esoteric terms, the actual Earth itself shifted and has changed the entire energy of us and time itself. Yes. That's exactly what we were saying in the beginning of the show.
Yes.
Right.
Now, I will say not everything that was bad that came out of COVID. I feel like for creators, I mean, you got your podcast was created. My podcast was created as well.
Absolutely.
It gave creators the time to actually do their art, kind of dive into, painting and writing and acting and, all the cool things, and kind of forced people to kind of think out of the box and think, oh, I couldn't do that. Well, yeah, maybe I can do this. Maybe I can do this.
How much of this book now, the choice, the characters in here were, the results of your experience from COVID? I'm curious.
Oh, well, Dandelion Mary, I'm going to do a whole book about her. She's very interesting. She's got a lot of layers to her. It's sad because she's she's innocent, but she does kind of a horrible thing. She does a bit horrible thing. I
Right.
mean, so yeah, there's a lot of layers to her, and I think I have a book just about her. I got that in me because yeah, she's a very interesting character. I can do a lot with that one.
Right. And I felt often she was a victim. I felt very, very sorry for her.
Yes, that it would be a really good
Most of what she did
characterization.
was from, the base of being a victim. I love the structure of the book, and I'll tell you why. By breaking up your chapters, and by the way, putting it in print that people like me can read. I'm sorry, but I have some very well-known author friends, and I get the book, and it's teeny tiny.
Wait a minute. Now, font smaller than that. So I have standard 12-point font. That's like a standard. You shouldn't have it any smaller than that.
There's a lot of people that write historical, really content-filled books that are great.
Yeah.
But I'm telling you, even with my glasses on, sometimes I put 2 pairs of glasses on.
Oh, I do it all the time. I do that all the time. My husband always makes fun
I
of
want
me.
to show people Wendy's font is good. It's a wonderful readable book. But I like the way you broke up your characters into each chapter was about a character. So if you tuned in on Wendy's third book and you missed 1 and 2, you could pretty much piece together the person from the way you set it up. So that was that a deliberate choice when you wrote it so that people that might have missed your first and second book?
Oh, of course. And also I love to set a scene. I've been told that I describe things in a very different way. I don't know, I just use the senses, and I love going forth with that. And then I kind of develop the characters, and I kind of want to make it so people don't get bored or don't, they want to turn the page. They want to keep going on with the story. My problem is I had a lot of characters, and I'm like, okay, I gotta, in a cohesive way, make this story flow. So I had to kill off a bunch.
Right.
So
that was going to be my question, because you had mentioned that early on. How do you go about killing off a bunch and ending up? I think in this book there were 6 or 7 characters. How many were we?
I don't even know. Like more than that. There was probably about 9. So okay, so that's probably one of the hardest things when you're writing, right? Is decide. It's just, I want to rip my hair out, right? Seriously.
Don't do it.
It's okay. Yeah, my hair couldn't handle it anyways.
No, it's okay. Then you can have 52 wigs like I do. It's great. You look fabulous all the time. Your hair will never frizz in bad.
Oh my God, that reminds me, my highlights. Oh my God, look at that.
It's okay. You can always.
Okay.
But how do you choose who you're going to kill off?
I just pretty much the characters that I just felt like it was done. It was done. I could just tell that there was no more life with those characters. And I'm just like, there's a couple that I didn't want to pass away, but I'm like, you know what? I want to make this a good book. I want it to be interesting. So I just did.
Right.
The Traveler was another one of my favorites. And Lyle and Cassie. Cassie, she's another favorite character of mine. She's, like the loud persona. She's got the white blonde beehive hairdo. She's tells dirty jokes. She's very eccentric, but yet she doesn't care what people think.
Right.
That's based on a real person. That
I was going to say that had to have been based on who. You don't have to give the name, but who was this person in your life growing up?
So she lived in a cabin right next to my parents' resort, and she was something else. I still remember her. She would have a cigarette in one hand and her dog in the other, and she'd find out that my parents were having this big party, and she would have this beautiful pantsuit on, I'd never seen her in jeans. I've never seen her in a jean jacket.
Right.
She had this elegance about her, and she had like these not long heels, but she like kitten heel, and she would just walk to Karen, I was like, oh my God, she would get wind that my parents would have these parties, and of course she would come and bring her friends, and it was just and I just remember as a little girl thinking how cool she was, because she was just very, I don't know, I could talk to
Very
her,
much
and
myself, as we say, you know.
yeah,
I
yeah.
don't imagine that a lot of the people, because this was in a wooded, a pretty remote area, right? Summer area.
Yeah, I mean, it's a little northern town,
Yeah.
about 4 hours north of Milwaukee, about 3,000 people, and the resort is about 6 miles out. But it's beautiful. I mean,
Oh,
it's
yeah, I imagine.
my sisters and I went there, and as soon as you drive up, you get this sense of peace. Now,
Right.
what's interesting about it, so this summer, I always take my girls up there every summer. When we got out of the car, I was looking around, and some of my girls have what I do, kind of I don't know what you want to call it, sixth sense, or they just
It is a
sensitive to energy, sensitive to
the
energy.
They read
She
energy.
just, yeah, they're kind of looking at me, and they're like, Mom, it's cool. My sister was with me, and she said, something's different. I go, yeah, the energy is different, isn't it? She goes, yeah, something is I go, yeah, it's whatever was here. Not that the resort is bad. It's not bad. It's still cool. Actually, it's really cool. They have, he rebuilt all the cabins. It's
Wow.
really nice. They made it look it's really nice, but there's something that's left there. Something is left. It looks smaller, even though it's still the same resort. The trees are
Right.
huge, but there's an energy there that was present when I was growing up, and it's just not there anymore. I don't know. It just seems different. It was different, you know?
Wow. When did the new owners take over
So it's been turned over about 3 times.
already?
So the new owners right now, I'm not quite sure how long they've had it actually. I would say about 7 years if I were had to guess, but yeah, he's a home improvement guy, and they were nice enough to
Yeah.
let us just, walk around the grounds, and, but yeah, it's really cool. We don't have the pool anymore. Well, they don't, it's not ours anymore, but
Right.
yeah, there's no pool. It's just different. I mean, well, another thing too is when my parents had these parties, there's 8 cabins. My mom would like knock on the door and say, hey, we're going to get together later, bring a dish to pass if you want. You don't have to, but just come
I
on
love
down.
it. I would have
And
loved it.
yeah, they put all the picnic tables together along the shore of the lake. Everybody would come. And then people from the town would get wind of it, and they would come. And, but now what I noticed is, everyone is to their own self. You put a key code in, and that's how you get into the
You put
cabin.
a key code in.
That wasn't when my parents owned it. Yeah, everyone came to the door. In fact, it was almost not kind of annoying in a way, like, what's going on with these mosquitoes? Or, oh, I need help getting this boat, going or whatever. My dad would be out there helping, my mom too, but it's different. Yeah, it's totally different. Everyone, yeah, you get your key code, you go in, there's no way you like interact with others. You know what I mean? I don't know.
I love that you're talking about this because you had this idyllic childhood going to this resort, and it was also indicative of a time. When I listen to you speak, it reminds me how much the times have changed. And I'm sure within you, there's a longing to return to that time. But you
Yeah.
know that I hate to use this cliche, you can never go home again. But now more than ever, it really, really does feel that way. It was
Yeah.
something that you said, it feels different. And
Yeah.
I don't know if the different is in the resort as much as the different is in, the times
The
that we're
time.
in.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
what my
Yeah.
friend Dan commented, and I felt this too. I actually felt that we were put on reset.
Yeah.
And I'm a time freak. I'm very aware of the time, of the days of the week or whatever, right? Because I'm a super organized person. COVID blew that out of the water for me. And it's pathetic, but I have to check the
Kind
date.
of threw you off a little. Yeah.
I am still thrown off. I'm
Yeah.
still
Yeah.
thrown off, and I have to run businesses and everything else. And I am,
I'm so glad you said that.
God,
I was like, because I've got on a calendar. Okay. So I work part-time, and my one daughter doesn't drive, so I have to drive her to work between my husband and I and pick her up. Like I had that this morning. It's fine. That kind of thing happens. I'm hoping she'll get her license. But
sure.
anyway, it kind of throws us off a little bit. I'm always like, was it Wednesday or Thursday? I don't know. It's just, and even if I write it down, it's like I have to get better with time. I really do. It throws me off. It's like, I don't know. Time seems, I know this sounds kind of crazy, but
No,
time seems like it has changed. How it's changed,
definitely.
I can't really articulate right now, but I feel like it has, if that makes sense. I don't know.
Right. Well, I'm thinking, you know what? My friend Rose chimed in on this. People were forced to look at themselves inwardly and explore other realms of survival. I think of what my friend Den said, that we were all put on reset, and that's definitely true. So maybe now we don't have the same kind of control with all the electronics we have, with our
Right.
iPhones and
Right.
computers and everything else. It's just not the same. And because you and I are both and my friend Rose were sensitives, meaning
Yes.
we can feel
Yes.
the energies and stuff like that.
Oh, yeah.
Particularly intense. For
And that's a
people.
gift. Same here.
Yeah.
Same here. I'm like, why did I come out of the coffee shop or go to the grocery store feeling like crap? I feel so
Right.
heavy. What is going on?
Right.
Because you took on the energy of the place, or you've, dealt with an energy that you didn't really like, oh, this is not good. And that can affect you. You got to like put on a spiritual raincoat, I think. I say that and
I love it.
don't
I
do
hope Rose is still on. Put on a spiritual raincoat, because yes, or I call it the pink bubble. I go right in my own conscious life. I try and surround myself with not only very positive people, but people that are generous to me, and I'm generous to them. And when that other energy tries to penetrate, I put the pink bubble around me.
Yeah, you have to. Or else it
Spiritual
can.
raincoat. I love that.
Yeah, just put it on before you go out. Say, okay, I'm going to do that. I'm going to go do my thing. And you almost have to. Gosh, what was I going to say? Oh, as far as nothing busts a spiritual, nothing makes a day worse than you're trying to get on something and you don't have the password's wrong. I feel like there's so many barriers. So many barriers.
You're like
It's like
pulling this out of my mind this morning. I'm like, I know I'm not the only person experiencing this. Okay.
yes.
But you said it in the beginning about your books and marketing your books and all of that. And the technology that we have to deal with, the notice from the bank that there's something wrong with a check, and then you got to go back and look at it, or the doctor's appointment that you have to confirm, or the this or the that.
Oh
and the
my
other.
God.
Yeah,
I don't even confirm. I make the
Right.
appointment and I show up.
And
why
you
do I
just
have to
show up.
confirm? What
Right.
then you're like a password to find? No,
That was
I don't have time for it.
An hour and a half of my morning was done doing that. And I'm like, I just can't
It's
believe
horrible.
It's horrible.
It's horrible.
It's wasteful of our energy. And I got to tell you, my new thing, if it goes over, I did my physical, and they're like, and you can check everything on the portal. And I looked at them and I said, I don't do those kind of portals. He looked at me. I said, I don't do those kind of portals. I said, I do psychic portals. Okay.
Or what they say, what they do, they just look at you like,
yeah, they just, you've gotten that look.
Oh yeah.
Nobody knows how to deal with that. And she's like, oh, is it okay then if we call you? I said, yes, a call would be absolutely fine. If you have
common sense, give me a call. I don't give. Oh my God.
I don't do those kind of portals,
I don't. They're always talking about my chart. Your results are in my chart. Make your appointment in my chart. I don't give a shit. Well, sorry. Can I even? Sorry.
Yes, you can. My chart is my horoscope.
I don't give a shit. No, I don't want to go on my chart because it's going to end up me being frustrated trying to find a password or whatever.
Right.
No, yeah.
Well, yeah. And that was my morning this morning. And I love Benji. Benji Bradshaw is an amazing talent, one to watch for. And that beehive character sounds like someone we would hang with. Absolutely right, Benji. And Benji says, we don't do portals. That's awesome. No, you know what? We should form a club I know my friend Rose would be in this club, the Don't Do Portal Club.
I love it. I've never, you know what? Hey, I've never been to New York. I would love to go someday. If I do, I got to come say hi to you. Got to meet in person.
Yeah, that would totally be great. And by the way, the kind of person I have now relationships, of course, all over the country. And when people come to New York, I meet them and we get together. And they are the exact person that I interview on the on the podcast. That's the beauty of the podcasting.
Yes.
I had somebody over in the UK who I absolutely loved. I was on his show. I will say, okay, because we were talking about the negativity of COVID, but one of the positive things is you and me, Wendy, can now travel. We're time travelers. We can travel all over the world now. And
I love that.
I know that is like the coolest.
It's a cool thing about podcasting.
Yeah.
Now I've had to I can't put as many episodes as I have been. I just had life got in the way.
Yeah, it does.
I was going to
saying that.
Yeah. I mean, it's just, I was going to school for massage therapy. I graduated. Very hard thing, by the way. And I just passed my boards for that because I'm a healer. I want to heal too. I want to get into that. I'm always going to be writing too and podcasting. But anyway, make a long story short, I couldn't have episodes coming out weekly. Like I couldn't do it. So, but I still do have my podcast. But I'm still going to be doing episodes.
Yeah.
It just might be for a year or something like that. I have to think.
It's hard. As you know, I have this one and my other one, TriVersity Talk, the LGBTQ podcast. I do a show every week. So on the other podcast,
That's amazing.
Well, it's not. It's like insane is what it is. And I have two different producers on the shows. Cameron Cole, who's amazing, is a producer on the show. But I have to be super organized, but I'm going to tell you it's hard. And tonight I have an event that I've been hired to do. So
what are you going to do tonight? What are you going to do?
I work with the Explorers Club. I take people through the 5-story mansion and talk about what happened to explorers on their explorations.
Oh, fun.
All the boring history we had growing up. I bring that to life.
No, I think that's cool. I love that.
Over at the Explorers Club, the building was built in 1910. So we have a gallery on the top floor that's so haunted, Wendy. So haunted.
Okay, I want to go to it. I want to go. Will you take me?
I absolutely take you, but I normally finish up there at around 7:00 we have a lecture usually after or a private party after. So I'm done at 7. The other night, the time got all different. And it was at 8:15 when they said, Wendy, would you mind taking people through the building again? And I'm like, oh my God, it's the witching hour. I'm going to be up on that top floor at 8:30. Right. And we've got like totems there that I know have spirits in them. So there I am. And it was almost 8:30. And thank God I had 20 people with me because I couldn't have done it otherwise. I've had people on that top floor fall out on the couch up there when they've gone up by themselves and had the most bizarre dreams. And it's just, when you can feel this stuff, oh my God, it's so crazy. I want to talk with my producer, Cameron, because you did send a little video that I liked advertising your book. And I'm hoping Cameron got it. If he did, he'll put it on. I usually check with him before the show. If he didn't get it,
that's okay. Yeah. My friend Sarah did such a wonderful job. She made a couple different trailers.
Wow. I never had an author who did. It makes total sense, but I loved it. And I thought it was very cool that you did a trailer on that. So maybe he'll find it, maybe not. But I had a question for anthology, Triumph Over Trauma.
Oh yeah, that was a few years ago. Yeah. So
about it.
That was a wonderful opportunity that came up, and I got with a bunch of other authors, and we put a short story in there, just kind of triumphing over adversity and things like that. And yeah, that was a few years ago. Gosh, kind of forgot about that. I had another one too, but those anthologies, it's what I like about those is it's just kind of cool that people there have, your own experience, what you've gone through, and to help other people, basically, and to help what you've gone through. And some of the stories in there are they're really rich, and I love them. And they're all strong female characters, and
I love it.
Yeah.
I think that this is what we're all craving. Okay. When, here in New York, we talk a lot about creating community, how important community is. And having a book like this really is about that. It's about somebody saying, I went through this horrendous thing in my life. and I came out on the other side, and I'm okay. So
yeah, and it's important to have that.
Thank you. Right.
Hey, I wanted to ask you, since it's Halloween, well, it's going to be Halloween. Do you have a favorite horror movie?
Yes, of course I do.
Okay, so
I've got two. Okay. The Others. Okay.
Oh, is that the one with Nicole Kidman?
It is, but it's so it's creepy, and they're
oh yeah.
That's a movie where in the Victorian days, it's based
That's
on
a good one. I forgot about that one.
They're sitting on a couch, and when you look at them, it looks like they're all relatives sitting on a couch, but you realize it's a picture of all of them who died, and their eyes are. I'm going to do it. Their eyes are all shut.
It's so creepy.
It is, and it's shot like super dark. Yeah, I love
it. Yeah, no, it was very, yeah.
And then the other one, The Last House on the Left, I don't know if you remember that. That was probably one of the first snuff films. It was about these three girls that get picked up by this guy with a truck. Come on, it's every young girl.
Was that in the 70s? Was that the one where she was floating in the lake?
Yes, floating. Yes, you remember.
Oh my God. Okay. I got a story about that.
You do? Tell me.
Yes. I was when I went to fashion school for about a year when I lived out in California. I wasn't there a year, but anyway, I was out there for a short time. And me and my two roommates, oh, this is so cool. I haven't thought about them in a while.
There you go.
We were watching that movie. One of them got up. She had to throw up. She was so scared.
Horrible.
It was like horrible. And I was like, oh my God. Wasn't one of the girls, it was her birthday or I don't know.
They were going to celebrate her birthday.
Okay. It's been like 30 years. It's been 30 years, but I just remember, Last House on the Left, right?
Yeah.
But it's not about a haunted house. It
was supposed to be a snuff film. It wasn't, but it was shot. So you remember the word snuff films where they said,
yeah.
But that was so frightening because the men in the film, it was about these men just horrifically killing these girls, and they were so scary and so real.
Yeah. See, I can't do it was very visceral and
there was visceral and how they shot and killed them and everything. But look at it. We're having this conversation that it stayed with me. I'm still talking about it.
Well, exactly. Right. That was one of the movies that I was like, this is so beyond horrible. I remember one of my roommates, she got up and she threw up. She was like, I never want to, I go, that was horrible.
But, okay, let's relate this, right, to writing paranormal fiction, right?
Yes.
You're not gory in that way, but in your book, there are some really, especially in this last one, The Choice, you know, some horrific deaths. And why does this affect us this way? Because they could be real. See, there's a way of, as you as a storyteller, you tell it, it could be real.
I feel like, it's just like when you see somebody, right? And I think one of the scariest things that can happen is if, for all intents and purposes, on the outside, they're just great, they look great, they act great, they smell great, whatever. But there's just something that's not sitting right with you. Like there's a red flag, right? There's just something in your core. You're like, there's something not right about this person. I can't put my finger on it. It's not judging. It's not that. It's just there's an inherent darkness there.
You sense it. The biggest frustration, though, with that, and I've discussed this with a lot of people, you feel like the person with the unicorn horn coming out of your head because you see it and nobody else does. And maybe you'll have this conversation with your friends and say, but there's something a little bit off. And they look at you like, why are you saying that? I've learned, by the way, unless I'm trying to protect someone, I keep it to myself. I do, because otherwise it looks like I'm making something up. And someone told me a long time ago, Wendy, just because you see a certain way doesn't mean everybody else does. Aha.
Well, yeah, no kidding. I don't know. And sometimes the truth is just the truth, I don't know. It can be subjective for sure. But if it's a very strong that's your inner core saying this person is not
Absolutely.
good. This person is not, there's something off with this. And that, like, that's kind of how I modeled one of the main protagonists in book is, you know, they were fine, and then suddenly they weren't fine.
Right.
And then, you know, what makes him scary is like he comes back and he's like, one of the guys notices him and he's like, hey, I recognized you, but that wasn't your name. I'm giving too much away already for my book.
Well, no,
But
not really. But I know the characters you're talking about, and yeah, like now that character is not fine, not fine,
no,
not
no,
even a little bit. And I'm
no.
going to roll this into what you're saying. You actually, one of the core things I got out of your book, you bring up bullying, because I wanted to ask you that. Why did you put that particular scenario together of this horrendous character in your book who was long ago and far away, to basically an innocent kid, and then of course he's turned horrific? Why did you bring that bullying element in there?
I don't know, to be honest. I feel like the dynamic of people, there, I don't know, there's good and bad in everybody.
Right.
Some people have more good than others. There's always a chance for redemption, I guess.
Redemption, right.
And I don't want to say without, I don't know, what can I say? Like, he had a horrible
He
thing
had a
happen to
horrible
him.
thing. You know what it reminded me of in so many ways? You really had my wheels turning. I started stringing together the bullying thing in other books and movies that,
Yeah.
like Carrie. Okay, look,
Oh,
Carrie was,
yes.
but that was about bullying, right?
Yes, Stephen King, one of my favorite authors. Yeah, he just, you know, well, he's the mastermind. He's Stephen King, right? But a lot of his stuff has really stayed with me. Cujo, all that. I love his stories. I love how he sets up a scene.
Yeah,
I
he
loved
puts
how
that,
he sets up
right.
characters. But Carrie's a,
Well,
Sissy
right, but that
Spacek. Oh my
film was
God, she just.
essentially about bullying before we had the
Mhm.
internet. And I think of, you know, I roll it into now with kids that are
Well,
suffering. And,
yeah.
you know, we just recently, we got rid of suicide hotlines and things like that.
Ugh.
Kids need support now more than ever.
Absolutely.
And look
Yeah.
what happens if they don't get it.
Absolutely. Also, and I think you could, you'd share this with me as well, is when we were growing up, bullying was, I mean, you know, kids got bullied. It was not like there is today. I mean, there is bullying today for sure, but it was just a different world. It was rough. It was, we had a lot of issues with our school buses. We had,
Fighting.
yeah. I mean, like it was bad. People
In
were,
my school, we had kids punching. It was a girls' school, believe it or not, but some of those girls were like really tough.
oh
And
yeah.
I remember people getting beat up and stuff like that. I think now, and maybe I'm wrong, someone will correct me on this, it's not as much being physically beaten up now as they can physically screw with you with words on the internet.
In the internet, that's just where that, you know, yeah. I'm
Social
glad we don't
media.
have, aren't you
Right.
glad we don't have what the, you know, when we were growing up, I mean, what a blessing not to have the internet and all that. I mean, it was just coming out when I was like in junior.
Look
Yeah.
at what they can do now, right?
So
Where you
horrible.
and I had
So
bullies in the
horrible.
schoolyard. Now this is like they can take and spread this far and wide, right?
You can't leave it. You can't leave it. You know, you turn it on, it's there. You got to block them. You got to do, you know, some.
Oh my God, I just thought of another book for you. You have to do one with all this technology.
What?
And it would be totally different than the resort books, but you know, the things that are happening to people from the technology.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
Souls are being stolen and mass produced. And then you can roll AI into it too.
There you go. There you go. Now, you know, as far as marketing and things like that, I think AI is perfectly fine. I mean,
yeah, it's great.
Not for writing books. Absolutely not. I mean, that's my stance on it, but yeah.
I will tell you something that it is good for, not to replace your unique perspective or your point of view. But if you're framing a book, right, when you write a book, you kind of frame it out. It would have been very helpful to me to have it when I wrote She's the Last Model Standing, to get what I was trying to say in order. I hired a person to do that. I couldn't, the thoughts got very muddled in my head. I'm sure you've had that happen.
Oh, absolutely. It's the hardest part about writing a book is getting it in an organized, cohesive manner. It's one of the hardest things.
What ChatGPT can do, and I do this, I write these funny parodies, but what is it I'm trying to say when I write them? So I put what I'm writing into it, and I tell them, the feeling that I want to get across. I tell the robot.
It's helpful. It's helpful.
It's so helpful because the robot spews it back to me, and then I go back and I can rewrite it knowing, oh yes, that's what I wanted to say.
Yeah. No, in that regard, that is helpful. But like I wouldn't write my novel with, I mean, I don't know.
You can't write your novel with it because your novel, like your unique perspective, which is in this book, you can't duplicate that from a robot,
Right.
Writers.
That's what I love about it. Oh my God. I love that it kept you up at night.
It did.
I love it.
I couldn't put it down, and I had to take extra strength gummies to get to sleep. That's
oh my God.
If you do book, they each come with a couple of gummies.
Oh my God. I love it.
You go to sleep at night, right?
Can you do me a favor if you are able to? Would you?
I want to give you an Amazon review. I promise.
I would love that. Yeah, I know it's kind of even if you don't get the book on Amazon, you could still do a review. You just have to page down to reviews, and then it doesn't have to be a big, long, elaborate review either. I know that can be annoying.
No, but that's something. Absolutely. And to anybody who's watching today, if you get the book, it is, thank goodness, it's not a ponderous read. It's a smooth read, but you will go back. I did this. The characters have a lot of levels to them. So I went back in the book to where you introduce the character to see if I missed anything. Because when you're reading, especially late at night, you can miss things.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Absolutely.
So Wendy, has anyone told you that your books they'd be great for movies?
I get it all the time. I get it all. I mean, I don't mean to sound, but I've gotten it from several people like, you know what, Netflix should be knocking at your door. I'm like, hello, M. Night Shyamalan, come on and direct my book. I would love that. I love his movies. He'd be perfect.
Well, he always does stuff with lakes and people coming out of the water.
He'd be perfect. Yeah. I got to know, it's got to get in the right hands. People, like M. Night Shyamalan, if you're hearing.
If you're listening, this is nationwide. So if you're listening, I have another a couple of comments from Rose. Her two favorite movies are The Exorcist and The Omen. I love both of those.
Oh my God. The Exorcist scares me so much. I don't even know if I can watch it ever again.
And that is really frightening. And then she gave you might want to look into these. Graham Masterson wrote The Manitou and the Jinn. So, good. Thank you, Cameron, for popping that up there for me. So you might want to look into reading those. I could just talk about this stuff all day.
I could. Oh, The Shining. The Shining. That's one of my favorite ones. It's about a writer, but Jack Nicholson, the way
he was brilliant. Yeah.
Oh my God.
Here's Johnny.
Oh my God.
But you know what? It also had humor in it. When you talk about
it,
yeah,
it did. He's just like deadpan. He's so great. And then Shelley Duvall. She went. Do you know that she went crazy? No, I shouldn't say that. She had to go to a mental institution after she did that movie. That scene where she was in the bathroom, where he was doing that was that was like they said it was like the 100th take or whatever. They just kept rolling it. Yeah. And she was, yeah. So interesting fact there.
That is a very interesting piece of trivia when actors get into their roles, right? And wow, I had no idea about that.
Yeah.
So, Wendy, my God, I don't know where the time goes. I knew it was going to roll by really quick, though.
Yeah.
Well, where can people find your books?
Yeah. So if anyone just go on Amazon and type in my name, that'd probably be easiest. Wendy, and it's Coke, K-O-K.
Right.
I have my website, wendymcokeauthor.net. You can find me on Instagram, Wendy Coke #4. I'm on Facebook as well. You can find me. Yeah, I'm out there, and I got to get my YouTube rolling around too. I haven't been on that for a while,
You know
but
what? It's just Wendy.
so many
It's
things.
really endless. And I have a friend she's brilliant, Dorothy Bishop, amazing performer who's on TikTok, does tons of stuff on there. And she's like, you need to do this. And I said, Dorothy, I can't. I might as well just quit working.
I'm on TikTok too. I don't even.
I'm
I
on
think it's
social media probably 3 hours a day. And it's not like commenting on friends' stuff or anything. It's promoting the live shows I do.
Yes.
It's promoting my upcoming B shows.
It's a lot of work.
It's a lot of work. And I think about what I'm writing when I do it. And then I have to get the pictures together. And if I do a great event, I want to share it with people for an organization. And yes, it is a lot of work. And then, of course, I promote all my friends' stuff. You know, my friends have stuff coming up.
I think it's fantastic that you do that, promoting creators.
No, but you know what? I'm at 3 hours a day, which is why I'm not on TikTok. I'm sorry. I apologize.
You're tired. You're allowed to be tired.
Thank you. I'm allowed to be tired. Wendy, thank you so much. You are terrific. I wish you luck with this book. And just like you got in touch with me about this book, whatever your next is, make sure you stay in touch. I love having people back as I watch them grow their careers. And thank you to everybody who tuned in today.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Wendy. Enjoyed being on your show.
Picture. Hold on. Yeah. If Tim were here, Tim knows how to do it in the computer, but I'm broken, so I don't know how to do that. So just look at my camera. I do this. Great. And now we have some pictures to remember us by.
And I look like a Harry Carey. I should have took my glasses off.
No, you're fine. Here, I'll put mine back on when we say goodbye. Okay, everybody. Thank you so much for tuning in today. Bye-bye.
Bye, Wendy.
Bye-bye.
Thank you so much.